That to-do list in the garden in autumn is just so long. How to get through that list, staying focused in the garden, is something that I think we all struggle with every year. Let me tell you a hack, something that works for me in the garden. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a gardener in my 50s in Kumamoto in Japan, trying to build a community to give me advice and maybe just share a few things I've learned along the way. So my to-do list is pages long. Here's just one page of my list. It's crazy. I've been making memos to myself all the way through the summer. I've been pacing the garden to see, just waiting for it to get cooler to see what I can do, what I can change, and I am desperate to get in there. The list is really, really long. But one thing that I found really works for me is just taking 3 or 4 of those things off my list, writing them down on a piece of paper and sticking them with tape onto my door, just like this. Then I make myself do all those jobs before I come in from the garden. No matter what I get distracted with, I have to complete those jobs before I come in. So as the door is there, is the first thing I see when I come back in the garden. If I look and I'm like, I forgot to do that, I have to go back out and just finish it off. I find this hack really, really works for me. I started doing it last year and I managed to get through a lot more things. The problem is when you pop into the garden and you're full of enthusiasm. Like today, we had rain last night, and just the smell of the rain and the fact that I knew my garden was finally getting a good soaking made me so excited to go out today. And after rain, of course, things pop up, weeds pop up overnight, it's crazy. But I hung in and I got my 3 jobs done. The first thing I have to regularly do is to check for caterpillars in this season. By the end of August, the beginning of September, the caterpillars just go crazy. And I know that some people, if they only have one season, will often let caterpillars just do their best. Caterpillars equals butterflies. But in Japan, our season has been resting really all the way through the summer, and everything is going to have a last flush of flowers, a last crop of vegetables now. So I really need to pick those caterpillars off for the moment and let my vegetables and flowers have a good chance of surviving. At this time of the year, there are caterpillars all over my basil, all over my shiso, all over my lemon tree. There's little eggs, I try to get them off my lemon tree. I have a gardenia that I bought last year. That also seems to get a lot of caterpillars. That needs picking. Raspberries, so many caterpillars on my raspberries at this time of the year. And of course, okra, which I also talked about in a previous video. I'll try and link in the comments. So the first thing I did today was to go out and check all my caterpillars, check off my list. Then I had some beans. I want to put some runner beans in for the autumn season. I planted them up in tiny pots about 5 days ago, and they have 2 leaves up. So I wanted to get them into the ground as fast as possible. And I managed to do that. I find that if I plant the beans directly into my soil, the woodlice quite often take the beans and they don't do as well. It's much better for me to start them in small potting pots and then move them on. So I did that today, so fingers crossed they'll start going. I have a few more left just in case that I can add in if these ones don't go. And we're going to get some runner beans by the end of, well, mid-October. I'd hope to get some runner beans now. And the last thing I had to do was to cut back my Mexican sage. My Mexican sage is huge. I haven't touched it this season. It's crazy. It was all over quite a few other plants and just needed the bottom branches chopping off a bit to give light to some other plants. So I actually came back in once, looked at my list and went, I forgot to do that. And then I popped outside and gave it a quick haircut. So the list definitely works. Of course, I did lots of other things on the way. I found some weeds that had to be picked, and I moved some stones. I had a quick look at my new bed and pulled out some gravel that was much easier to see now that it had rained, and I deadheaded some flowers as well. So my last little tip would be to, if something can be done within a minute, just do it. Don't go back, don't say you'll do it tomorrow, just quickly do it now while you're out there. So if you see a weed, don't walk past it and think I'll get back to that in 2 minutes. If you're like me, you will have forgotten, and the next time you go, the weed will have set seed and you'll have lots more weeds. But just pick it up, put it in your pocket and carry on. Always keep your scissors with you so you can deadhead a plant as you're walking past. If you see a flower, just quickly snip it off. You can let it drop to the ground and pick that up later, but deadheading the flower when it needs will make sure that you get lots of flowers in the future. So that's another good hack, is if it can be done in a minute, get it done. Right, so there isn't, as I have explained in previous videos, there's not a lot going on in my garden at the moment, but I'm getting ready for autumn, and I just wanted to show you a few of the flowers that actually are blooming in my garden at the moment, and I wanted to have a quick try of putting some names up along with the flowers. So enjoy the few highlights of my garden.